The first question tonight comes from Abhilash. He is speaking from Chennai. Acharya ji Pranam. I quote from VOV. The Jivan Mukta, the man of Satori, he who has transcended his ego, does not act as a result of choice. He acts as he must, intuitively as we call it, without reasoning, in accordance with cosmic necessity, and his action is always correct or adequate action. That alone is freedom of will in terms of reality. So the excerpt is on free will and reality. I'll read it out again. The Jivan Mukt, or the man of Satori, he who has transcended his ego, does not act as a result of choice. Then how does he act? He acts as he must, intuitively as we call it, without reasoning, in accordance with cosmic necessity, and his action is always correct or adequate action. That alone is freedom of will in terms of reality. Okay? So now, what does Abhilash say? Acharya ji, generally what we call as free will is nothing but our freedom to act as per as the conditioning of our mind. Generally what we call as free will is nothing but the freedom to act as per the conditioning of our mind. This phrase indicates that real free will is when one has transcended the ego, and such a person does not act as a result of choice or reasoning. So how do I know if my actions or decisions are coming out of free will, of heart, or if they are coming out of conditioned mind? Also, can you please help me understand what does acting in accordance with cosmic necessity mean? Well, when you start talking of that which is transcendental, that which is beyond the personal, then you have to be very careful. You are sailing in choppy waters. You must listen with a great abandon. Since you are talking of that which is beyond the person, you must listen impersonally. You are not merely supposed to comprehend. You are supposed to go beyond your limited personal comprehension. All right, so what is the matter? Free will, choice, conditioning, action as per the cosmic need. What are these? How are they interlinked? In general, we perceive that freedom lies in having choices. This is not merely what the layman perceives. I was very recently shown a book by a very famous and contemporary spiritual teacher who emphasized that freedom lies in having choices. In fact, he categorically questions in his book, what is freedom? To have few choices or to have more choices? And he wants his audience to support the latter option. That is how most of us think. We want choices. And then we want to be able to choose from amongst those choices. Such an event fills us with a sense of power and happiness. We feel that we have just expressed our agency, our authority. First of all, our agency was expressed in being given the choices, and then our authority was manifested in our freedom, our sovereignty to pick without having to explain or be accountable. Well, this is how the common mind thinks. Those who are not satisfied with the appearance of things, those who want to go deeper into reality, those who do not easily accommodate with the false, they ask questions. They want to know. They ask, where do one's choices come from? First thing. And secondly, they ask, who is the chooser and on what criteria does he choose? When they ask this way, what they discover is, and you too must go through this process of discovery on your own. I might tell you what the knowers discovered for themselves, but what I would tell would not entirely benefit you if you do not experiment with it and do not see it happening in your own life. So, what do they see? When they examine the choices, they see that all choices are within a very small domain of conditioning. Outside that domain, the second one does not even perceive an option. He has been conditioned to act only in certain ways. It is among those 5 ways that he will want to choose one. So no choice really has any originality or authenticity. Start at the most fundamental level. Man cannot drink hydrogen peroxide. Do you have a choice in terms of your most essential and rather favorite fluid? You do not have a choice. It is something preordained. Are you getting it? Take more examples from the bodily domain. You take in air, your body, your lungs soak in some of the oxygen and some carbon dioxide and moisture and a few other gases are exhaled out. Do you have a choice? It is easy to perceive this phenomena at the physical level. There is no choice really. It is a machine operating as per its designer's whim. You do not know the designer. All you know is the machine. Then you come to other bodily functions that affect your mood, your temperament, your emotions, and very importantly, your thoughts. When you very well know that physical phenomena are so very preconditioned, then you also know that everything that results from bodily physical phenomena is also preconditioned. You take some pill and that induces sleep in you, then you very well know that the sleep is not really your own. The sleep was brought about by the pill. But here you would probably manage to say that you had a choice in taking the pill. You would say, I took the pill and I went off to sleep. What was the pill really? A chemical. What about the various chemicals that your body is secreting incessantly day and night without your permission? You could see the pill entering your system. Are you able to see how the food that you eat transforms itself into various enzymes, fluids, cells, tissues, hormones, chemicals, and how they bring about your various physical functions? It just happens. You do not even know. And you cannot even stop it from happening. That free will is an illusion is very easy to see at the physical level. At the mental level, it will be equally easy to see if you see that which you call as your thoughts and emotions are nothing but bodily functions expressed in a subtler way. Thought too is something of the body, the brain. When you eat some food, it is obvious that something gross is entering the body. The same food becomes the brain, and the brain is the thought. Do you really have a choice in terms of your food? Only apparently. You cannot eat stone. You cannot live on air. And even if you claim that you have some choice in terms of the food that you eat, do you have any choice when it comes to what that food would become in your stomach and your guts? Any choice whatsoever? Does the lion even have an option to eat grass? Free will is a charade, a great myth for those who live in a body identified way. Their self is tied to the body, and the body has no self. The body only knows predetermined processes. A car moves around about in a certain way. Let's say it's a driverless car. You'll find it navigating through the traffic apparently on its own, with no driver visible at all. Still, can you say that the car has a self? Can you say that the car has an agency, an I? Same is the case with the physical self. Even if you find it navigating itself very nicely through the world, that does not imply that it has a self. There is no self when it comes to the body. But the self that you are, the self that you express yourself as, the I that you are, ties itself to the body and thereby allots a fake self to the body. Then that which is actually just automatic, perfunctory, starts appearing to you as volitional. Not only do you start attaching importance to it, but it also becomes a symbol of your misplaced freedom. The text that you have quoted, Abhilash, says, the man free of himself, the Jivan Mukt, or the man of Satori as the text says, does not see any choices at all. You will not find him confused. Absence of confusion can mean only two things. Either you are fully conditioned, 100%, or you are totally free. Most of us lie in a very peculiar and rather traumatic in-between state. Neither are we fully conditioned, nor are we absolutely free. Had we been fully conditioned, we would have experienced no suffering. Suffering is only when there is a background of joy, of freedom. Only when there is a faint recognition that the state you have put yourself in is not your natural state. Suffering is only when there is a conflict. In complete conditioning, there is no conflict. Man lies in an in-between state. Very faintly, the truth reverberates in him. He cannot get away from that faint calling. At the same time, his life is full of the din of the false. So there is a lot of conflict. When there is conflict, then man tries various ways to facilitate his decision making. He says, I see 5 choices. How do I choose now? And then various criteria emerge. Somebody says choose on the basis of self-love. Somebody says choose on the basis of ethics or morality. Somebody says choose on the basis of expediency. Somebody says choose on the basis of religious commandments. Somebody says your caprice is sufficient. Just do what you feel like. Why do you need to have a criteria? And ultimately, everyone manages to keep choosing. We keep seeing various ways, various options. All the time in life. We are questioned, we are challenged, but we manage to come up with some kind of a response. We say, this is my choice. Needless to say, nobody is ever 100% sure that his choice is the right choice. The man of realization does not have to go through this cumbersome process of choosing. That's one great delight of freedom. You don't have to burden yourself with confusion. You don't have to invest yourself in the tedious process of decision making. You just know. The word we uses here is intuition. I'm not particularly fond of that word. My word is justness, sahajta, nature. You just know. Not through calculation, not through feeling, not through comprehension, not even through intuition. You just know. How do you know? You just know. Obviously, you cannot explain to others. You cannot even explain to yourself. How do you know? But you just know. There is a tremendous insight. There is an extraordinary clarity. The decision-making process, you could say, is tremendously fast. You don't spend days and nights pondering and ruminating and chewing the issue. The thing comes to you, and you know the thing even before it has come to you. While this is obviously a matter of delight, it can also present some practical problems. One, the process of decision making is incommunicable and inexplicable. There is no process at all. There is just realization. Secondly, because it happens so swiftly, so it can create an impression in the wider world that one is acting capriciously. Somebody around you might just tell you that you are coming to lightning quick conclusions without even investing due time in considering the matter fully. You can be charged with irresponsibility. They will say you are not even sitting down to think and consider and analyze. You're just shooting from a hip. You haven't even heard the whole thing out. You have jumped to conclusions. But then this is a small problem because it concerns others. The third problem is the biggest one. It concerns you. The third problem is quick decision making comes to both the one who is free of conditioning and the one who is fully conditioned. And the ego is so quick to co-opt everything. It is very possible that you start worshipping your conditioned responses as justness. It is not difficult to conceive a scenario in which a deeply conditioned person calls his impulsive reaction as a quick response from the heart. He will react as per his deep tendencies and defend and decorate his reaction by saying that he doesn't need to think or reconsider because what he is displaying is a quick and clear response from the heart. And since most people are deeply conditioned, therefore, it is almost always advisable to think a lot. Thought is a useful instrument and a good friend to most people, almost to everyone. Think where your thoughts, feelings, intentions, decisions, choices are coming from. Think a lot about these things. It is only the Jivan Mukt who doesn't have to think. You must think. If the Jivan Mukt doesn't think, it's a delight. If you do not think, it will be your plight. And remember that whenever you will take a deeply conditioned decision, the one thing you will hate to do is think over it. You will not want to discuss it. You will not want to debate it. Because remember that you are not fully conditioned, you are not fully unconscious. There is something within you that always knows your nonsense. That is why dishonesty hurts within, doesn't it? There is something within you that always knows when you are being fake. Unnatural. So you avoid bringing to light the most deeply conditioned aspects of your life. You will endlessly talk about all the trivial and silly matters, but you will keep close to your chest stuff that really matters to you, stuff that drives your life, stuff that keeps you awake at nights. That is something that you will not want to disclose. Because you know that if you disclose it, the falseness of it all would be revealed in no time. You already know it is false, don't you? After all, you are not fully unconscious. To your chagrin, some part of you has managed to remain green. Even as you repeatedly jump into fire holes. It's not even a part of you. It's your very basis. You do all that is possible to terminate yourself, to finish yourself off. Yet miraculously, you do not end. You drink a lot. And you really hate it that in spite of drinking a lot, you still know that you are drunk. Oh God. Oh my God. What's the point? In drinking so much, if I still know that I am drunk? But you can never fully get rid of the one inside you who always knows. Despite your best attempts to plunge yourself into ignorance, that one always knows. He knows, and you know that he knows. So you don't want to talk to him. If there is a debate between the two of you, there is only one outcome possible. He knows everything, and you know that he knows everything. It's a fixed match. And fixed not in your favor. Who wants to play? So you avoid playing, don't you? Yeah? All I can say to you is keep talking to the one who knows. He will not finish you off. He will turn you into himself. And then you too will know always, and then you won't have to decide. And I can't explain to you what a delight it is to just know. Life is then light like a feather. Nothing remains hidden. Nothing is then a shock or a surprise. Nothing hurts. You know the power of knowing. There's a puppet show going on. There's a puppet show going on. So Kiddo is watching it along with Papa. Who is watching it? Kiddo and Papa. So there are the three of them. The puppet, the Kiddo, Papa. The puppet feels no excitement, no tension, no worries at all. Its strings are completely in somebody else's hands. Wish you could be the puppet, but you cannot be a puppet. And the puppeteer is deft. You could even call him shrewd. He's performing such tricks with the puppet. And these are modern puppets, robotic puppets. A lot of things are happening. As they say, it's an entire phantasmagoria. Puppets are here now, and now they are gone. Suddenly a puppet inflates in size. Suddenly a puppet melts. Suddenly one starts singing. But the puppets, in spite of being part of such animation, feel no excitement, no threat, no life at all. Kiddo, what to say? The kiddo is jumping about. Oh my God, this has happened, that has happened. Now the favorite puppet has disappeared and kiddo is in tears. And now two new puppets. One in shape of a rabbit, another in shape of a carrot have arrived. And kiddo is overjoyed. To the kiddo, it is all so meaningful. And then there is Papa, smiling at the puppets and smiling at kiddo. And that does not mean that he is running away or dismissing the show, he too is there. Because kiddo is there. Papa knows everything. Does that take away his delight? No. He knows not merely the puppets, he also knows what kiddo is going through. The puppets are sansar, kiddo is man or mind, papa is papa. You cannot be puppets, not possible. You already have an agency, you already are the I. Now the choice is to be kiddo or papa. It's no sin to be kiddo. It's just a bit stupid. You are now 35. Kiddo. Try papa. Who knows, it might just click. Remember, papa has the best of both worlds. It's not that he is being deprived of the puppet show. He is watching the puppet show. But he is also watching kiddo. So double delight. Kiddo cannot watch papa. Kiddo is so engrossed with the puppets that kiddo cannot watch papa. Papa is able to watch both. And not only is he watching both, he knows both of them. He knows the sleight of hand that goes into the puppet show. He knows the entire process. He knows that puppets are just puppets, and he also knows that kiddos are kiddos. If the kiddo laughs, it is when something favorable happens on the screen, on the stage. Papa laughs when kiddo laughs. But when something unfavorable happens on the stage, kiddo is in despair. Papa laughs even then. Do you want your laughter to be conditional, depending on what is happening on the stage? Or do you want to laugh even when seemingly unfavorable things are happening on the stage? That is what is meant by being choiceless. Choicelessness is empowerment. Choicelessness means it doesn't matter what would happen there. Only one thing happens here. And that is the greatest expression of your free will. You are now free of what is happening on the puppet stage. That is free will. Kiddo is not free. Is the kiddo free? If nice things happen on the stage, kiddo feels nice. If bad things happen on the stage, kiddo feels bad. Kiddo is not free. Papa is free. Kiddo is enjoying just one show, if at all he is enjoying. Which show? The puppet show. Papa is enjoying 2 shows, and he is really enjoying. What are the 2 shows? The puppet show and the kiddo show. The puppet show and the kiddo show. Take one. Get one free. Isn't that nice? Our choices vary according to the condition of the world, because we are conditioned beings and our choices emanate from our conditioning. Free will really then is to choose irrespective of the conditions. It doesn't matter what the conditions are. I choose just one thing. What does Papa choose? He chooses knowing. He chooses delight. Kiddo can keep on choosing as per his or her conditioned mind. Papa has already made the choice long back, and he won't deter from the choice. That is choicelessness. That is also free will. That is also perfect freedom. It doesn't matter what is happening in the world. My game is set. My choices are made. There is no decision pending at all. There is nothing to be reconsidered. All that needed to be thought about has already been thought upon. Thought upon, settled and dismissed. Now there are only little things like puppet shows that interest only Kiddo. And Kiddo is there, not that Kiddo is gone. Kiddo is there. Where is Kiddo? With me, right besides me. It's my job to raise the Kiddo. And the Kiddo must one day become Papa. Who am I then? I am Papa in charge of Kiddo. And Kiddo will take her own time. Kiddo is a product of time, isn't it? Who is Kiddo? Kiddo is a product of time, and everything that is in time takes time growing up. Well, the mind will take time growing up. It's all right. I'm there as a guardian. I'm there. Mind will keep doing silly things. Because what is mind? Something very closely associated with the brain. And the brain has grown with time, hasn't it? Since it has grown with time, give it some time to outgrow itself. Well, I can't wait for the brain to outgrow itself, so I already exist as Papa. It's a strange thing. I am Papa, and at the same time I am inseparable from the Kiddo. Papa loves Kiddo. They are inseparable. They are inseparable, yet there is a distinction. Isn't there a distinction? The two of them are so closely related to each other, yet there is a distinction. That's how the Jivan Mukt lives. Jivan is there. So Jeev is also there. Yet the Jivan Mukt is free of the Jeev. Free of the Jeev. Not killer of the Jeev. Remember that the Jeev is a product of time. Give the Jeev its due time. Meanwhile, you stay in timelessness. That's freedom. Are you getting it? When the world becomes a little too unbearable for Kiddo, all that Papa does is place his hands upon her shoulders, and it's so reassuring. Kiddo still remains Kiddo, But the very presence of Papa changes something in her. This proximity is so soothing. If you are living as kiddo, at least live in proximity to Papa. If you are Papa, then I do not need to say anything to you. Contradictory statement. Kiddo has will, Papa has free will. One point that he has asked is, what does it mean to act in accordance with cosmic necessity? You will never know, Abhilash, what it means to act in accordance with cosmic necessity. At most, what you can know is whether you are acting in accordance with your personal necessity. That is the most you can honestly know. What does the little self know about the cosmos? How will it know what the cosmic necessity is? We do not even know what our limited needs are. How will we know the infinite needs of the infinite universe? When you act in accordance with existence, then it is not that you know what existence wants from you. It's just that you do not act as per your limited personal self. That is the utmost possible to you. Reject the temptation to live by your personal needs. If you have rejected that, then rest assured you are already in sync with existence. Instead, if you will insist that you want to know what it means to be in sync with existence, then you will always stay with this personal demand. After all, who is demanding to know about existence? The person. So in asking about existential need, you are just fulfilling a personal need. It is a massive self-delusion then, is it not? So do not ask what the existence or the universe or the cosmos wants. Just see that it does not befit you or pay you to live by your so-called personal desires and thoughts and fancies and intentions and plans. They have not helped anybody, they will not help you either. A lot of examples abound. Learn from them. Hmm? Never say, I have just come to realize what the existence wants from me. Existence is too big to want anything from you. Existence does not really want anything from you. What do you mean by existence? All this that is spread around you, right? This is just a manifestation of your own consciousness. What is it going to want from you? It is not separable from you. Is your own projection going to demand something from you? So do not say that you are working to help the world. You are working to be of use to the cosmos. All these are delusions. Just ask yourself, I have so far in my life always lived by my personal tendencies, thoughts, feelings, and emotions. Has that helped? If that has not, then let me shun them. What is it that you get after shunning them? Delight, pure delight. Does that help existence? You need not worry about that. Remember that you are the existence. If you are delighted, existence is all right. Take care of yourself. And you take care of yourself best when you do not side with the self. If you love yourself, then dismiss yourself. Those who do not know the art of dismissing themselves with a contemptuous flourish of the arm, like this, shoo, go away. If you have not learned to address yourself this way, then you are your greatest enemy. You will be in disorder and turmoil. And since you are the world, your world will be in disorder and turmoil. Remember, your world. Anyway, there is nothing called the world. There is nothing objective about the world. No objective world whatsoever exists at all.